Well, uh, so, it's Halloween night. It's very late. Well, not super late. It's only a touch past 11. But, I figured, I don't think there's a better time for us to start the, the quest line for the Halloween event in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, but I had forgotten. I need my Halloween setup. There we go. Nice and spooky. Plague Doctor costume. I'm sorry, this HUD's gonna bother me. How it's like this. There we go. Flying pumpkin. A flying pumpkin, tabletop item, like a little house decor and a little magic pumpkin noisemaker kind of thing. It's being sold. Well, let's see what the apparition has to say. The pumpkin-headed apparition is on the lookout for an able adventurer. It has been more than a few moons since we last met, friend. As it so happens, I have a proposition suited for your talents. Are you prepared to throw caution to the wind and consort with fiends most foul once more? Of course you are. But before we get to the heart of the matter, let us reflect upon the history of All Saints' Wake. On this night, the fell fiends emerge to cavort and careen, unconcerned with the judgments of those on high. For the halls of the saints' heavenly abode ring with merriment as the wine flows freely, and no one can be bothered to look down. Thus did God's fearing folk greet this particular sunset with trepidation, daring not to venture from their homes, no longer. Nay, for adventurers came and drove out the void scent, restoring safety to the city's streets and marking the occasion as one of jubilation. That's all well and good, but what of the poor forsaken fiends? Are they, too, not deserving of revelry? My wish is to see All Saints' Wake reborn as a celebration for all, be they ghost, ghoul, Gridanian, or otherwise. And now I do propose, and how do I propose to accomplish this feat? Binding obligations, friend. I've convinced the more sinister storts to enter into contracts to forbid them from playing on mortals. In exchange, they are permitted to partake in the festivities. But there's one troubled soul who seems incapable of getting into the spirit of things. Perhaps you'd be willing to give them a helping hand. Nothing too devilishly difficult, I promise. Oh, I missed that one. I clicked too fast. Whoops. But it seems like I need to speak with Papa Gruff. The pumpkin-headed apparition informs you of an unfortunate fiend able to enjoy All Saints' Wake. At her behest, go meet with Papa Gruff nearby a great loam growery to learn of this void scent and see if you cannot aid in some manner or another. And he's behind me again. Well, let's go see what that old imp clown has to say. Looks like he's with Mama Gruff and the infant Gruffs as well. And the children Gruff as well. That pains me so. Our humble performance must draw to a close. Let us end things on a high note. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you feast your eyes on the fantastic Phil Cox and his transformation magics. About the clowning around and whatnot was right and left, but that last bit was bleeding reddish. Come on, let's get out of here. Oh, they fumbled the transformation magic. So there's Papa Gruff, and I do believe that he's probably the fiend unable to get into the spirit of things. Yep, there it is. Yep. Once more, you failed to muster up even an ounce of magical prowess. I had the crowd in the palm of my hand. We'd been the toast of the town if not for your blunder. There you go again, shrieking the same old tune. I've had it up to my eyeball with this farce. Just because you know a few cheap tricks doesn't give you the right to treat me like that. Can't stand the sight of you, let alone the thought of taking to the stage with you again. Good riddance. Gruff, hi, you're kind of an asshole. We've been through this song and dance before. I put a stop to you trying to eat people a few Hallows Eves past. And now you're on now you're on the White Pumpkin's Pumpkin Witch's payroll. Well, no, you're bound as a familiar is what it is. But let's see what you got. Well, well, fate has conspired for us to cross paths once again. Out with it then. I know you're not here to swap pleasantries. Foul fiend, failing to get into the spirits of All Saints' Wake, I'd wager you speak of Philcox, the fellow who stormed off in a huff. Like most ilk, Philcox and I have an insatiable appetite for ether. But unlike your garden variety void sent who hunt hapless mortals like beasts, we prefer to sate our hunger with enthusiastic approval. I tell you, there's no ether more as delectable as you'll find in food gifted in genuine affection and in genuine appreciation, which set me to thinking perhaps preying on mortals was an old-fashioned and misguided approach. Thus, I did commit to giving folk the sort of frights that dazzle and delight, winning hearts and minds, and in the process, no small number of ether-laden delicacies. Right, yeah, that was kind of, last Halloween's thing, where you figured that one out versus, just eating people outright. It was just like, oh, people will just give bits of their ether? For free? With treats? What? I forgot you had that revelation. I still don't trust you as far as I can throw you, though. But occasion for such terrifying amusements as All Saints' Wake. The method is catching, too, many voice sent. Now seek ether in this manner. Philcox is one such reformed individual. When I first laid eyes upon him, I sensed promise. But get him in front of a crowd, and you're lucky to get a smattering of half-hearted applause. Let alone a few measly crumbs. He'd be better off hearing it from the Araman's mouth, though. He can't have gotten far. Now to try to find Philcox. Ah, there he is. Phil's a cock and balls. I'm sorry. That sniveling whelp of an imp. Magic's this, magic's that. The sheer unbridled cheek of it. Philcox is practically frothing at the mouth. So incensed is he by his treatment at the hands of Papa Gruff. He must soothe him before attempting to start a conversation. Target. Emote. Soothe emote. Apologies, I had taken leave of my senses. Your timely intervention is much appreciated. Wait, by the look of you, I'd say you're an adventurer. Let me guess, that pumpkin-headed lady sent you to check up on me, did she? Yeah, that sums it up. Suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you my tale. Try as I might, I can't get the hang of transformation magics, and thought the means to delight the crowds was starved for appreciation. I'm an Ahriman. Paralyzing prey with this big eye of mine, not a problem. Turning them to stone with a petrifying glare, a trifling task. Hell, as I can even smell despair and all manner of negative emotions in the people around me. Obviously, paralysis and petrification won't win over an audience, and my metaphorical nose for despair isn't going to put Aether on the table either. I should just tell that pumpkin-headed lady I'm not cut out for this business. If you're here at her behest, you'd better come too. Is it slash visor? Yeah, it is. There we go. Now we can see Cyrus's face. Which is probably better for the cutscenes, is to see Cyrus's face. But we got a decent look at him with his Plague Doctor mask on. Monkey. Let's see what the Great Gourd has to say about this. I gather you had a hand in Philcox's decision to lay bare his thoughts and feelings. Not that it did any good, I'm still stuck at square one, underappreciated and underfed. Such a curious child. Are you so blind to your own potential? No doubt you have an inkling as to what I speak of. Pray, share your wisdom with Philcox. You can smell dark emotions. You use your gift to help those in need, or stamp out any negativity you sense it within the common folk. Yeah, I think Cyrus will say the more. Yeah, no, Cyrus will be excited about this. Stamp out any negativity you sense at the common folk. I suppose I could give that a go, but do you really think that if I rid people of their woes, they'll repay the favor? I'm unfamiliar with mortal customs, but if you say so... wait, I see the logic in it now. What better way to make use of my talents and knock that pompous Papa Gruff off his pedestal? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have no idea where to start. Perhaps I can lend a hand. A little sleight of hand. Hold still. Up. She gave him drip. Not only is that get-up guaranteed to turn heads, each and every thread is imbued with a potent magic to aid in your newfound purpose. Oh, and now I think I can feel it. Maybe this isn't going to be so tough after all. He's certainly admiring his new look. There you are. You know, I thought to apologize for my harsh words earlier, since her act was my Initiative, and therefore all success, or lack thereof, was ultimately my responsibility. But I sense that you've been scheming. It pleases me to inform you, Papa Gruff, that I found a way to win over the mortals on my own terms. I found that hard to believe, but since you seem so confident, why don't we have ourselves a contest? Whoever garners the most affection, and by the largest share of ether-rich victuals, wins, and to the victor go the spoils of subservience. The loser will be bound to obey their every whim. How does that sound? Oh, you're on. I hope you're ready to bow and scrape. Lady? Are you okay with this? The mortal epitaph about one's bark being worse than one's bite comes to mind. Prepare yourself, Philcox. I know I've got this marvelous magic outfit, but I'm not entirely convinced I have what it takes to beat Papa Gruff on my own. Come with me, just until I get the hang of things. That's all I ask. Yeah, no, I can do that. Very well. I shall leave Philcox in your capable hands. Oh, and you get his outfit as the reward for the quest line. That's fun. How about we try to find a troubled soul in need of aid? But let's get out of here first. Alright, time to look for folks harboring negative feelings. Give me a moment. He's doing a quick scan. I don't know if it has anything to do with the pumpkin-headed lady's enchantment, but my powers feel more potent than ever. I've already found someone, and whoever they are awfully flustered. They're to the northeast, I think, though I'm not sure where exactly. The roads here can be confusing. Truth be told, this is my first time in the city. I've got a decent sense of direction, but I've yet to grasp the lay of the land. Could I trouble you to lead the way? Our flustered target is northeast of here. I'll be right behind you. Philcox is now accompanying you. Oh, he has conversation zones. Such glee. They mentioned a clown. I'd wager they've just had the privilege of seeing one of Papa Gruff's performances. Listen, I'll be the first to admit that he's an expert illusionist, and you've only to got to look at the folks like these ladies to see that he knows how to work a crowd. But I won't be upstaged. I'll prove that there's more than one way to win over an audience by following your timely advice, that is. Given the delight written on their faces, our opponent must have earned himself some sustenance, which means we have no time to lose. Onward. Ooh, in the way back of town. Oh gods, where has she gotten to? This must be the fellow my senses were leading me to. Shall we find out what ails him? You there, what's gotten you so upset? Oh, forgive me, there was a poor little girl who'd been separated from her mother. I was helping her to look, but she suddenly disappeared. I can't simply abandon her, but then again, I have an urgent personal matter to attend to, and I don't know what to do. In that case, why don't I and my associate look for the girl? Then you can see to your affairs without worry. Thank you, thank you. She's the young lass dressed in blue. I hope you're able to find her forthwith. He certainly was appreciative, yet I'm here empty-handed. Forget the food. We have a lost child to find. Taking the despairing presence to the east of here. Odds are it's the girl. Which means I have need of your navigational nose once again. After you. Conversation zones in the same spot, so I doubt it's... So I don't think it'll be more discussion, as it were. Papa Gruff. Thought it would be a fine opportunity to accrue some appreciation, but the poor girl's beside herself. She keeps calling up for her mama. Might I enlist your help? He's the last lass we've been looking for. Want to earn her thanks? We'll need to reunite her with her mother, wouldn't you say? Yeah, that sounds about right. Now we have a lady to locate. Any suggestions? Use your senses to find someone feeling anxious. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good response. Ah, you're saying the mother will be worried about her daughter having gone missing. Brilliant. This is exactly why I had you accompany me. Right then. Scanning. 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 Found her. I don't know which is a bigger boon, having you by my side or this fancy finery. Once I've learned my way around the city, more or less, I'll handle this next part on my own. Wait here and I'll be back with the girl's mother in no time. Well, be praised, you're safe. You're my eternal gratitude. Thanks for finding Mama, mister. Even a photograph, sweet appreciation, and all courtesy of my special talent. Can't help but notice they didn't offer you anything edible by way of thanks. For my part, I've already been rewarded with a tasty morsel. It's said the gift of food is far from guaranteed. Indeed, perseverance is key, which is why I find myself performing show after show. I suggest you approach this contest with the same tenacity, Philcox. I'm afraid he's right. Constant effort is key. Luckily, I sensed another troubled soul. I was tracking down the girl's mother. I'd better see what I can do to help. You know, I think I'm ready to go it alone now. Why don't you let a pumpkin-headed benefactor know? I'll come and find you when I'm done. Alright. You seem to have a good grasp of things, Philcox. Well, I'm afraid my next fulfillment's calls. Until we meet again, adventurer. I can't. I'm still spiteful and petty at you. At you, Gruff. Yes, he's reformed, but he's also just kind of an ass. Should be kind of put in his place. Philcox at least seems to have a good I would say head on his shoulders, but as an Ahriman, he's literally just an eyeball with a mouth, bat wings, arms, and legs. He's a head with limbs. But I suppose in his disguise, at the very least, as a Highlander human, or as a Highlander here, rather, uh, he's got a decent head on his shoulders. Oh! Oh, she's dressed as Tinkerbell! Oh, that's a good outfit. That's a good Halloween costume. Hehehe, the adventure returns, and at the precise moment I predicted. I do hope keeping Philcock's company wasn't too taxing. What of our fiend and his endeavors? You have my thanks, truly. Ah, speak of the devils, here they come. Dear, dear, that turned out to be a damn sight harder than I anticipated. And all I have to show for my travails is a single cookie. To think the first gift I received would prove to be the last. Curses, I didn't receive so much as a crumb. I suppose that means you win. Very well, I am yours to command, Papa Gruff. Hehehe, you admit defeat far too readily, Philcox. It's the mother and daughter that he helped reunite. Hooray, we found you. We wanted to thank you properly for helping me and Mama. I brought you a pumpkin cookie. Cookie! Now it's a tie. Oh, he's powering up. Simply scrumptious. Oh dear, he's not used to the big Aether rush, it seems. The Hildebrand music's playing, so it's awkward now. But they they seem happy with his enthusiasm. I'm glad you like it. Farewell. Makes it one apiece. A draw then. Still, Philcox, while you had some assistance along the way, you've nevertheless done yourself proud. To think I'd live to see the day Papa Gruff sings my praises. Awfully kind of you to fully admit I might have worth. Is that all you desire? My begrudging acceptance? Have you forgotten your reasons for joining in the festivities in the first place? Of course I haven't. The good people of Gridania are still in need of my help. And where there are common folk in need, there are cookies to be freed. And given to me. Adventurer, I had better get going. But before I go, let me say this. I might have found a way to make the most of my talents, but I wouldn't have been able to do so without you and the pumpkin-headed lady. I'm sure we'll run into each other again one of these days. Till then. The promise I sensed in Philcox when he and I first met wasn't illusory after all. I should take my leave too. It would be remiss of me to allow him to garner all the glory, to say nothing of the cookies. Hee. I'd say those two fiends ended up having themselves a frightfully fun-filled All Saints' Wake. Wouldn't you agree? And for your part in this, a fitting reward. May I present you a set of finery, as worn by Gridania's most emotionally perceptive Ahriman. Ah, perhaps you wonder if your outfit is endowed with the same enchantment. You needn't worry. There never was an enchantment. That little charade was my way of giving Phil Cox the confidence he so sorely lacked, although I dare say such a measure was unnecessary given he had you to cheer him on. Before I forget, you are hereby cordially invited to my humble abode for get-together of sorts. Do drop by. I assure you it will be it will be frightfully entertaining. Anyway, your help is much appreciated. At this rate, my vision of an All Saints' Wake for mortals and void sent alike might not be such a distant prospect, though I do hope that these shenanigans haven't dulled your enthusiasm for this most occult of occasions. Seasonal event quest complete. You now have access to Sneaky Hollow. Speak with the unusual usher at Maikito's amphitheater to be escorted to the costume party. The little fiends in life. Let's see what's going on at Sneaky Hollow. Now, before, we could turn into all the NPCs from all the major NPCs from up to Endwalker. Now, it's been another there's been another instance of a event, so I assume we're probably going to see we've had another expansion, so I assume we're probably going to see some Dawn Trail NPCs. Care to eat? Have a seat. Welcome, welcome. Come to see the pumpkin patch. It really is a nice patch. I already see some people taking some pictures over here. Look at my pumpkins, my wonderful pumpkins. I'll leave them to their photo op. Beyond here lies a place of rest. Ah, graveyard. And another little photo op spot. Yeah, your reward is always some item and getting to go over here where you have a bunch of photo op spots and the ability to disguise yourself as one of various NPCs. Journey to forge this realm anew. Okay, so this first one is for A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward. This one is for Shadowbringers and Stormblood. And it looks like we have not gotten to the point where, and it looks like we have not yet added an imp to allow for, taking the appearance of the Dawn Trail NPCs yet, which is kind of disappointing. But it's alright. This was a fun little event. A cute little event. And it's always kind of cool to see this. And it's always just sort of kind of cool. You know? just to muck around, see what's going on. Well, I had fun. And I hope, to those watching, you had some fun too. And with that, me and Cyrus will see you later. Bye now!